thank you to those who have voted in the first poll on this channel, and hopefully that will encourage more participation in in the future polls for upcoming videos. And in this video, I'm going to be revisiting one of the topics that I've done in the past. I don't think that actually came out very well, so that's why I want to go back on it and give you a cleaner version of what we're going to be doing. So what I have open here is a 3D quick start. The link to this graph will be available in the description, and you can just go ahead and click on it. It'll automatically open a new tab. It is a feature in YouTube that I had no idea existed, so no need to go through the whole right click business. Just straight click on it, and yeah, we're going to be importing in OBJ data. So what do I mean by that? So if you've ever exported any kind of 3D models to a common format that other 3D software can understand, an OBJ file is one of those formats. And what that looks like is so here I've exported just some model. I just drag some vertices around, and we get this outputted data here. So for what we're going to be doing right now is all we care about is this data here. So these are vertices. So these other points here is so these are things that I want to explain in a future video. I don't want to fit them all into one, but these are ones that we care about. All right, so these are the vertices that I have, and what would that look like if we import them in? Is all you'll see is just dots scattered just around the screen. We'll connect them. That is in the works. So let's start by deleting this data that let's delete the cube first, and we'll make a folder, and let's call, and well, I export it as example.obj, so I'm going to call it example.obj. And something that I found out is that if you use quotes, you can just type wherever you want, like literally, right? So if you wrote something like "hello world" in here, it's not going to try to parse it. It knows that this is not for Desmos to parse. This is just like a note for you or any other visitors looking at this. And what Desmos likes is they have some kind of LaTeX parser in the background. So if I write something in LaTeX format, like so if I did /left, it'll make a LaTeX parentheses. If I did 1, 1 and close it off with the right parentheses, copy that, pasted that in here, and you can see that it took this already looking cryptic text and it turned it into something that's more readable, right? So both people and Desmos can understand this. Now why do we want to do that? Well, like if you remember, we graph 3D points using this x2, and then we give it like a 3D point 2, 4 or 2, 5, 1, fine. And then we want to enclose that in parentheses. And we also have a y2. We want the exact same pair of points. Now, what I want to achieve here is, rather than just giving this abstract point data, I want to go through each one of these vertices. So if I just see a V in if this line just starts with a plain V here, then we know that this is a 3D point. So this here is 1.647 and minus 0.647. All right, and our job is to, well, our goal is to format this such that the raw text format is x sub 2, and we'll have another left and right parentheses here. This is like the raw format. This is now 2, 5, 1, and so now this text will translate into so if I just paste that in here, you can see that this raw text translates into this format here, which is very nice. If we want to see what this looks like, of course, like it's not going to be a very exciting if we just simply go through each one of these and just put them in here. Although with a small enough data set, it'd be humanly feasible. But of course, I'm not sure how many of you would be willing to do that. So I would automate this process. This is a Node.js format, by the way. So the plan for this one is to start with some kind of backend script, and then we're going to convert this over to a desktop application. So I'm going to start by using their file system module, and if we want to know if this exists, so this is how you know if you import something correctly. Well, assuming it even makes it this far. See that yes, this did execute correctly, and what this allows us to do is I can say dot I can call read file. This is what I think it's called, and it's going to take in that input OBJ file that we have here. This is for testing purposes. In production, we want this to accept the user input rather than predetermine the name of this file that we want to do. It's going to take a callback here. Notice error just simply says if anything goes wrong, this error will catch it all, and the data is just the contents of that file. So I'm going to say if error. So if there is any error, we're going to throw it. Otherwise, I'm going to do that. All right. So looks like my Node.js isn't so bad after all. Now this data comes as a buffer object, and we want something better than that. So I'm going to do data plus equals the empty string, and that'll convert this buffer object to a human readable string. And what I believe we can do now is actually we can do this one better. Convert this to a string. Split on a new line character, and we're going to print each one of them. Okay. So this is printing out correctly. Now we want this to be able to catch, so this file has how many lines? This has 103 lines, right? Now I want to try something here, and that is if we can actually do parsing on here. So for each line, I want to say if line dot, I want to say call something like row is line dot split, and we want to split it on the spaces here. Let's say do one better. If something goes wrong here, we'll definitely find out about it. Cause P1, P2, P3. So if this is a vertex, so we don't want any VTs or VNs in there. We don't care about that at the moment. Though we can simply log this data out here. Now I want to see something. If this doesn't work, I want to at least know about it. Okay, so it looks like this is printing successfully. And we don't want it to look like this. We want this to be in this kind of format here. So I'm going to say, so I'll make another, just to make things a bit easier for us, I want to make another function, call this format. I'm going to take in P1, P2, and a P3. And this is going to return in fact, let's just copy this in. So anywhere we see a single backslash, we want this to be want to double them up so that it doesn't try to escape this character here, but rather the one before it. Okay. And this is not going to be 2, this is supposed to be P1, P2, and P3. Alright. This is on a new line for just so it reads a bit better. Go ahead and save that into some kind of result format. So let's do result. I want to put that in here. I want to do res.push. I like this to format. This and so at this point, all of this data here will already have been loaded into here, and we'll want to write that out now. So let's do this dot write file. Let's call it out dot OBJ. I forget the order of operations here. I think it's data first, but if it's not, we'll definitely know about it. So if it's data first, then we're fine, but otherwise it's just a very simple fix. I'll just cycle these variables names. Don't do what I do here. It's not good practice, but I just want to at least demo a concept. probably, in fact, we don't need to know what it's doing afterwards. Otherwise, it's going to say success. All right. Semicolons aren't required for this thing to run, but there we go. So something did go wrong. It's because the data that I want to log actually got put into the spot where the file name belonged. So now if we do this, you can see a success here and an out dot. Oh, actually, that's not good. If you want to see what's wrong here, so I wrote it as .obj file, even though this would technically work. .text file is better. If we plan to run this locally on our machines here, we don't want this to think. We want this to do something that is not supposed to be doing with it. Now I'm going to go ahead and it's Control A to select everything. Copy this, and now let's see if I steered you all the right way. There we go. Now it just looks like a cloud of points, and it is expected. Now if you want to really test it, you can see, can we still rotate these points around? We could. All right. That's fantastic. So this OBJ parser -1, I'll make that available in a description for you to play around with it. And actually, the future video, actually, I'm talking about the one coming up that I'm going to release after this, is so that you can see your data better. We're going to be grouping these points together. So how do we know which points actually belong together? Like, how do we know what a face is, right? So that's going to be a future video. So I hope you at least gained something out of it. If you're hoping for something else, please do leave a note in the comments saying I was hoping for a video about this, but instead I got something completely out of the wild. Yeah, but if you did get something out of it, hit the like button, and if you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing. And other than that, I hope you enjoy the rest of the week or the rest of the day. Yeah, see you next video.